Hey guys, it's Erica with Century 21 Affiliate in Cherville, Indiana, here for our weekly market update. This week we are talking about Dyer, Indiana. And actually, just because the way these are staggered out, I'm going to cover both February and March numbers for Dyer. So in January, so this is the last month we had the update, we sold 26 units of real estate for a total of about $7.7 million. Giving us an average sales price in January of $296,000. So looking at February, kind of about the same. 24 units sold for a total volume of $7.7 million, almost exactly the same. Average price, though, up to $324,629. Days on market, 20 days. That's a jump over January to February of about $30,000. Then in March, in Dyer, and again, this is, as always, every kind of real estate that was sold, 32 units sold in Dyer, so a few more for a total volume of about $10.6 million, which gives us an average listing price of $331,000. So $30,000 jump in prices from January to February. February to March, only $7,000. I mean, only $7,000, I guess, is a lot of money, but comparatively speaking, it's not as much. Average days on market, 32 days on market for these March homes. So we're gonna talk about that in a little bit. No $1 million homes sold. We do still have new construction in Dyer, just basically that small area where they're building duplexes and townhomes in that, southern Dyer, that little slice that runs into Hanover Township. That's the new construction we have in Dyer right now. We did, no big change. There's still, from January, there's like $100,000 difference in listing price versus sales prices. So we've eaten up about $37,000 of that. So we're going to keep an eye on that going forward. Dyer pending listings, so stuff right now that hasn't closed yet but is under contract. 42 pending listings, average list price of $330,000. So that is basically the same as what our average was in March. So that $100,000 move there, it hasn't really changed that much. We're not using up that much of that $100,000 difference in listing and sales prices we saw in January. We'll see what these close for. Obviously, they may have all gone, over list price and stuff like that. But list to sales price is about 97, 98%. So while some of those will be closing, I'm sure, above 100%, it only averages out to just under 100%. So like I said, 330,000 list price. We'll see where those close, but that's about the same as our average sales price. So that seems pretty even. Pending listing days on market, average days on market, 14 days, which is a little bit less than February, quite a bit less than March. So we're kind of seeing that moving a little bit. There's 7 townhomes. Those are basically those new construction ones like I talked about, that's in that Hanover Township section. Without the new construction, average days on market goes to 26. So existing homes, we're at 14. So existing homes were there. There's $1 million home that got sold. So that's good. So at least there's some light activity in the $1 million home market in Dyer. Active listings, 21 active listings. Of those, 7 are new construction, which is only giving us, how many existing homes? What would that be? 14 existing homes in all of Dyer for sale right now. Our continued listing inventory problem. 3 of those are $1 million homes. Average listing price, $389,000. So it's not the $100,000 that we saw from January active listings to closed average, but it's still, $70,000 or $80,000 on average in terms of what houses are listed for and what they're actually closing for. Our list to sales price, like I said, is about 97 or 98%. So it's not so much that, they're not selling for 100%. It's that these houses are kind of sitting on the market now. Speaking of which, average days on market for listings in Dyer right now is 31. If we take out new construction, because those always hang out for a long time, we're at 26 days. So it is interesting. This is what I wanted to talk about in terms of the Dyer story. Average days on market, I went back through my 2021 videos. Average days on market in Dyer in 2021 was 5 days. So if we look at January, 25 days, February, 20 days, March, 32 days. Now these active listings, 26 days. Nowhere near 5. I mean, obviously stuff isn't still hanging around on the market for months and months or anything like that, but certainly more than 5. we're in this interesting position because we're just right at the start of the spring market. So these are very motivated buyers, very motivated sellers who want, who are willing to move in when it's snowy, when it's 30 degrees outside, when it's, a mud bath outside like it's been over the past couple weeks. So we're talking about some pretty motivated buyers and sellers that are out right now. But to go year over year from 5 to, in the first quarter, an average of about, 29 days, that's kind of a significant change. So we're going to have to keep an eye on the spring market, and then obviously the summertime. It's busy between, say, end of April and end of July into August. We're going to have to see if we go back to 5 days on market, or if we hang around in the, a couple weeks, maybe 20 days, something like that, to really get an eye on how our market is going to change. Again, we have listing inventory problems nationwide, certainly in our area. What I'm seeing start to happen probably since Halloween, and again, that's that winter market, everything's kind of strange, but buyers are staying home. Their pre-approvals are now worth less because interest rates have gone up. The market is just, everything is so unaffordable, obviously depending on your price range and how much money you have in the bank, that buyers, a lot of them have said, I'm going to stay with mom for another year, or I'm going to rent out, this apartment for another year, or I'm going to get a roommate, or any number of these things, because the reality is that in our area, for most of our average kinds of real estate, we have priced buyers out of the market to a large extent. I have talked to buyers myself. We actually just last week, first-time home buyers, real sweet couple, trying to find something decent price range. I mean, they don't have $1 million, but they have a good price range, what would normally be a good price range. And they're looking to move in 2 or 3 years, into California or something like that. And I told them, even as a real estate agent, I told them, don't do it, because we are at a high enough value now, and we're starting to see, days on market extend out a little bit. We're not seeing the 109% of list price closings, throughout the past 6 or 8 months. I know just from talking to buyers that a lot of them are staying home. You may not want to buy a house right now if you're moving in 2 or 3 years, because our market is gonna, we may have plateaued and we're gonna head down. We're not in a big bubble. We're not gonna crash and everything's worth like $5 now, but you are not, if you buy at the top of the market and you have to sell it in 2 or 3 years, you may not make up any equity gains. You may be worth, we'll be back to, we'll never be back down here, but we'll move back to right here. So that extra $50,000 or something that you had to pay for a house today is only going to be worth $25,000 in 2 or 3 years, because it's not enough time to make up that equity. So a lot of buyers, I think, are considering that, they don't want to necessarily learn that lesson the hard way, and they're going to, sit back and see what happens. So we're going to have to keep an eye on it. So I looked at, in terms of spring market, right now, sometime in the next 3 to 6 weeks, basically, depending on weather, where that's, things are going to start moving. We're going to start having listings. We're going to start seeing more activity. In the past week, in the past 7 days, there have been 6 new listings in Dyer. One of them was new construction, so that one kind of doesn't matter. So these 6 are still on the market after, between 1 and 7 days. In that same 7-day time period, 7 houses went under contract, and the average days on market of those were 5. I think there was a couple that were on there for, quite some time, and then there were a couple that were only on the market, 2 or 3 days. So not all of the houses, so now the 2-week time span, we've had these 14 or 15 listings, not all of them have flown off the market. Some of the ones that sold have been on the market a while. What is the difference between these 6 that sold right away in the first week and these, 6 or 7 that are still kind of hanging out there? Obviously, once new construction doesn't matter. But here's what it comes down to. There's less buyers who want to move in, the first week of April, and the prices are not worth it to them. So what we're going to see, when, I don't know. It could be the next 3 days. It could be the next 3 years. But what we're going to see is sellers continually having to kind of come down a little bit on their prices, not necessarily because we have the inventory need, but because buyers are staying home. They're staying put, they're moving away, they're not dealing with this real estate market right now. So we're going to continue to see the days on market stay, at that 30 days, 20 days, 30 days. We may see it go to 40 or 50 days, depending on how quickly sellers have gotten the message that, maybe these top prices aren't what's going on anymore. So we're going to keep it. Dyer's a good litmus test for what's going on, particularly in Lake County, because they have so many different kinds of real estate. They have, $180,000 condos. They have $1.8 million homes. They have a lot of homes, big footprint in Dyer. Not as much new construction as we'd see in St. John or maybe Crown Point, Winfield. So it kind of gives us a good litmus test. And what I'm seeing is that things are just a little bit slower. We have to wait, like I said, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks till the spring market really starts rolling. But we may, hopefully for buyers, not awesome for sellers, we may hopefully be seeing these prices come down just from this white hot pace to something a little bit more, equitable for everybody. Let's put it that way. So if you live in Dyer, you're curious about, selling your house, think about jumping in the spring market, now might be a good time. Please give me a call or text me anytime. 219-765-2062. You can also always email me at hsbyerica@gmail.com. That stands for Home Sales by Erica. If you are thinking of moving to Dyer or you have friends in Dyer, please share this video with them so they get an idea of what's going on with the real estate market there. Obviously, if you live anywhere and you have any questions about anything, I'm absolutely always happy to help. So please call me, text me, email me. Like this video, subscribe to my channel. I do these weekly market updates. Next week, we are talking about Crown Point. So we will be talking about that Winfield area, all that new construction. We will be talking about Center Township, which I have some clients that are eager to move into Center Township, but I will tell you the inventory is still low. So we will talk about their days on market, the potential for their inventory going up in the next 3, 6, 9 weeks, whatever it is, next week. So thank you so much, guys. And if you need anything, just let me know. Hey guys, I'm glad you're enjoying my videos. If you have any questions about buying or selling, but I'm not in your area, I have connections to an international network of realtors who would be happy to help. Give me a call, text me anytime, 219-765-2062. I'll be happy to give you the name of a realtor in your area. Thanks.